This is your Daily Strategic Dose by Kevin Mohler.
What's up? Kevin Mohler here in the studio today. Just got done doing several recordings and wanted to bring this topic up to you because it's something that's fresh and top of mind for me, and it will serve you in your life and your business. And that is very simple. Be very, very careful whose advice you accept, even from people who are credible and trustworthy. I recently got some advice from an individual who was a very, very, very successful financial advisor, one of the top in the nation. And his advice was good for somebody who worked specifically in his industry. But with the business that he was giving me this advice on, I'm not in traditional finance. I'm in very strategic finance and uncommon financial tactics that is very unique. And we're in an emerging space where things are changing every single day. And so in his line of work, one of the reasons why he's one of the most successful financial advisors and investment advisors and professionals in the entire nation is because, and by default, one of the top in the world, is because he has the ability to have this laser focus on prospecting to get individuals with liquidity, people with money, into his office, in to have discussions with him on the phone, on Zoom, in person. And he has the ability to hyper focus on that activity. And he's done that for decades. So that is part of his secret sauce that makes him so successful, is that he doesn't stray away. He doesn't get so successful that he offboards so many different things that he forgets what got him successful in the first place, which is prospecting. So it was sound advice. What he had to share with me was about attending conferences. I go to a lot of conferences all over the world in this one space that we are in. And he was trying to tell me that you don't need to go to all these conferences. You need to focus on what grows the business. That was intelligent advice, and it was accepted advice, but you have to be careful on who you listen to. I want to share this quote with you from John Addison. If you don't know who John Addison is, you can look him up. Very successful man. But here's what he says in his book, Real Leadership. He says, every business, no matter what size it is or what industry it is in, has its share of complexity. If you go looking for advice, you can find a million different advisors. It's incredibly easy to get lost in the weeds. Forget about the complexity for just a moment. As a leader, it's your job to get your head above the weeds, look around you, and see the big picture. So for me, the reason why I'm not going to say I rejected that advice. I listened to it. I pondered on it. There was a lot of truth from it. I don't need to forget what makes us successful to begin with. And he's always kept his eye on that. But I've got to continue going to these conferences. The reason why is very simple. I'm in an emerging technological space. Things are changing rapidly. The news of last week is old this week. I've got to stay fresh on the front lines of information. And that's how I can push the envelope of our business forward, not just successful for 2025, but into the future. So it's important because I'm not in the same industry. He sees it as kind of this side piece of the same industry that he's within, and he's not incorrect in believing that. But the truth of the matter is, I do need to keep my head on the game of the things that make us successful every single day, putting in the activities, the daily deposits of growth that makes the business grow. But at the same time, I've got to stay on the forefront of education because the industry will leave me in the dust. I will have trophies and recognition and money on the board of yesterday, and I will not be able to go into the successful future over the next decade if I become irrelevant from being out of touch with the growth of the industry. I've got to stay on the front lines. And so the point of that is for you to absorb the information that you get from other people and be very careful who you listen to and whose advice you accept. Just because someone is more successful than you doesn't mean that every word that comes out of their mouth, every piece of advice is what you need to do 100% of the time. Make sure you use your God-given brain, your own talents, your own education, your own environment, your own experience, and you contemplate the advice that you have to make sure that it's relevant. As John Addison said, make sure that you're not so deep in the weeds that you can't even see the forest. Zoom out. Zoom way out. Look at the 10-year vision that you have. Look at the 20-year vision that you have. Look at the 100-year legacy that you have, and make decisions from there, not in the minutia of the day-to-day of your business and of your life. Hopefully that makes sense with you and resonates with you. As I was pondering that today, I thought, hey, this is a message that I need to share with our subscribers. So God bless you. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.
This is your daily strategic dose by Kevin Mohler.